Welcome to Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. I'm JJ Flazanes, your host, and thank you for downloading today's episode. All right, guys, I'm going to get really real with you today. I'm always real, but seriously, I'm exhausted. I have been running around. In case any of you are on the list, you're in the Facebook group, you are following me on Instagram or anywhere else, you probably think I have all of these people pumping out all this content and like that I have so much help. And I do have some help, but I'm seriously exhausted right now from too much. And I'm going to do a show on this at some point in time. It's all been really great and the momentum is crazy. So talking about law of attraction, the momentum's been crazy and it's continuing until next week. So there are a couple things I want to ask for your support on because you're helping to create this. Your feedback, your testimonials, working with you, meeting you at the events, having you in the Manifestation Challenge. I've got to get a shout out to Cara Lisa, who wrote me a beautiful email that I will read to you and share because it was just what I needed before recording today's show. Because I'm tired, because I've been burning the candle at both ends. I asked for something and then I got it like immediately and I wasn't prepared in my schedule to handle it. So here's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for some support because I know a lot of you do get a lot out of my podcasts without buying anything from me. And I do the Manifestation Challenge, which is free every couple months. And I'm definitely dedicated to supporting your growth and your manifestation during that 30 days. And always, of course, that's why I produce this show. But the first thing I want your support with, I had done Releasing What Weighs You Down in January. And my goal, because I'm doing it again next January, and my goal is that every event that I do is unique. And it's unique because of the presenters, the topics we talk about, the people in the room. It has its own energy. And the goal was always to create a product out of it. And some of you got the virtual ticket, and a lot of you were actually at the event. And so the next stage, which I've talked about, you've heard me say it, I'm going to make a product. Well, I've had the title, I've had the list of things that go in the product and the program, but I haven't done it. And about a month ago, not even a month ago, like 3 weeks ago, literally 3 weeks ago while I was in Austin or before Austin, I said to Doug, I am going to finish that product before the end of the year. Okay. Now, what then ended up happening after Austin is that I manifested an opportunity to sell the product on a telesummit from a very popular telesummit leader named Iran. And she and I had a lovely conversation the day the next big step started. I was fielding Skype auditions for commercials that I just saw and thought, well, I use QuickBooks, and so I could do that. Or someone wanted a test group of people who did different things. And anyway, I had so much going on. I'm cooking for the event, and I'm doing all this stuff, and it was crazy. Anyway, so Iram and I discussed what I would offer to her community and for the telesummit. And what came out of it was that she loved my title of the virtual basically program and course that came out of Releasing What Weighs You Down in January, which is called Mastering Your Energy Cycles. She loved it. It was new. It was different. And she has a lot of healers on her telesummit. And so the thing I need support on is that she asked me today is Wednesday. The telesummit is Monday, October 8th, and I wasn't clear about what my responsibilities were to her, and she wanted me to send out 2 emails. So those of you that are on my email list, you know, I apologize. I don't send out this many emails, but I have so much going on this week and people who I'm supporting that I'm sending out a lot of emails. So please stay with me. It's not going to stay this way. And if you're not interested, just delete the email. I'm not going to bug you 3 days, 4 days a week, every week. It's just what's happening right now. So please be patient with me. Oh, and by the way, those of you that have signed up for the Manifestation Challenge, if you're not on the email list, like let's say you signed up for it and then you deleted yourself, you're not going to be let in. I have to see that you at least were at one point in the email community that I have in order for you to get into the challenge. So just FYI, you may need to resubscribe to that because if I can't match your name to someone who's in my community, then I don't let you in because I think people can search the Facebook group and just decide that they want to be a part of it, but they aren't a part of this community. They haven't heard the show. They don't know the things that we've talked about. And that's not the person that I want in that group. I want to know that everybody in that group has listened to a show and understands this content information. So when you meet each other in the group or at an event, you have this instant understanding of each other. I'm really, really dedicated to making sure that I create a community that is safe for you in many ways and is really powerful. And I can't do that if I have random people who search it on Facebook and then get into the group. So I need to know you're on the list. So with that said, the two things happening this week, well, actually one is on Monday, but the thing I really want your support with, I'm doing this telesummit called Mastering Your Energy Cycles, and you can sign up. It is free. You'll get a replay, and you'll hear the show either as we do it live on Monday, or again, you'll hear the replay. So the link to do that is jjflizanes.com/energy. ENERGY, energy. Okay, jjflizanes.com/energy. And it would be great if I could get your support on that one. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that I'm doing a live 3-hour virtual masterclass with 4 other really powerful, amazing women. And I've been sending some emails out, but I've noticed that they're going into my spam. And I don't know if that's the content in the message or if it's just because my name has fitness in the title and that's been blacklisted or something. So again, I apologize if you've gotten these and they seem more excessive than normal. But anyway, so it's Freedom for Perfectionists is this 3-hour live masterclass. And what we're doing on that masterclass is we're actually doing a process of embodying femininity and power. And you're going to be sitting on the floor. It's like a physical process. I'm not doing that, but one of the other practitioners is. And so it's actually like a thing. It's not just like we're all talking. I mean, there are interviews, but it's like The View, but it's going to be more fun and definitely more spiritual and really empowering. So I invite you to sign up for that as well. And you don't have to be there live. I believe there'll be a replay. And again, the link for that is jjflizanes.com/perfect. PERFECT. Perfect. jjflizanes.com/perfect. So one more time to review. The Mastering Your Energy Cycles is jjflizanes.com/energy. And that's a very spiritual group, healer group. And then we've got the Freedom for Perfectionists, which is jjflizanes.com/perfect. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, this email that I just got. Hello, JJ. I just want to take a moment to sincerely thank you for sharing from such a place of sincerity and compassion. I cannot begin to tell you how much my life has improved since taking a more active approach to listening to your podcasts, especially Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. While I feel quite similar to you in that I've always been open to and interested in many different healing techniques, it seems like as soon as the shit hits the fan, I would always lower down to the vibration of the event or situation that needing fixing. You've inspired so much confidence in me, I could cry. I'm super interested in personal sessions with you, should you have the time, and would also love to be part of the November Manifestation Challenge. I'm sure many of your listeners can attest, but just in actively listening to your podcast, I've manifested so much in the past 4 months. It is unreal. Of course, we're always manifesting, but when in alignment with Source, it just seems to be so easy. It doesn't feel like a wish list. Rather, the heart calls for something and it appears. Thank you, Carolisa. I just got goosebumps reading that again. So, guys, if you're new listening to my show, I get emails every day from you guys, and they're not all this amazing, but they're all pretty damn good. And some of you reach out about events and things like that. So, I will announce next week the November challenge. Right now, please just go to either jjflizanes.com/energy or /perfect to support all the things that I'm doing this week. And then if I'm not dead by Tuesday, we can talk about what comes next. Okay. So I appreciate all of that. Oh, I'm also doing a live telesummit today. So in case you're getting this, but that's fine. It's going to be over by the time you get this podcast. I had a comment on Facebook in the Releasing What Weighs You Down group from one of my long-term clients. She had come to the next big step, and we had gone over the same content, which really bears repeating over and over and over and over again. I just get better at teaching it. The work of Marshall Rosenberg, Dr. Marshall Rosenberg, which he created Nonviolent Communication. If you haven't heard the show, I still don't know if I've put it here or not, but I know for sure, 100%, it's episode 118 in season 1 of the Fit to Love podcast show. It's called 3 Steps to Effective Communication. And she had written a note on Facebook, and it was too long of an answer for me to type it. So here I am. I'm going to speak it. If you have not been introduced to this work, again, please go back and listen to it. It applies to you even if you haven't, but it'll be more effective if you listen to this again or stop now and go listen to episode 118 on the Fit to Love podcast, three Steps to Effective Communication, and come back. So she had written that she went to her boss and told her boss about either her boss or her employee coworker that was triggering her. And she explained that she was taking responsibility for it. But I forget what had happened. Somebody had made her responsible for creating a better relationship. And what struck me that I wanted to address here is that when someone triggers you, and I've learned this the hard way, but I knew it when I did it, but I didn't do it from me. I had a friend who triggered my husband, and I told her because she asked me at one point, was he mad at her? And I said, no, I don't think so. I said, but you do trigger him like his mother. And so I just wanted to explain that in case she felt some kind of weird negative energy. Well, that was the wrong thing to do in that situation because that person took that very personally and got upset. Here's what I want to say about triggers. When you are triggered, it is no one else's responsibility. If I say to you, you triggered me, sometimes people say that because they want the person they're pointing the blame at to take responsibility for triggering them. But that is the definition of victim mentality, guys. When I am triggered, that's on me. And when you're triggered, that's on you. Telling somebody you're triggered by them sort of is a little bit manipulative because you want them to respond to you in a, oh my God, I'm so sorry kind of way, right? You want them to make it better. You want them to apologize for what they did because they obviously hurt your feelings. You want them to make it better because you weren't triggered before you said or did whatever you did to trigger them. But the problem with this is it's completely still victim. You're coming from a place of having a mirror shoved in your face, literally. And something that was said or done was interpreted by you in a way that stimulated a wound that you already have. That wound hurt. And now it's your job to figure out what's the wound? Where did that come from? And how do I heal that? What is the belief, the limiting belief that I have about this situation or about this possible situation that caused these feelings? How can I make peace with this? How can I heal this? So that the person, whoever they may be, a boss, a coworker, whatever, can show up any way they want to. And it doesn't matter because you are unaffected by it. I forget when I was talking about it, if it was on a podcast. I'm sure it was, or I've done so much recently. It might have been at The Next Big Step. I don't remember. Somebody asking me about, haters or being triggered. Oh, I know where it was. We were in Baltimore, Doug and I, and we have a customer service client, and I had done this presentation and the 3 steps to effective communication. And I let everybody know, both in the work situation and out of work, that it is no one else's job but you to attend to your needs, and that your feelings aren't something that you catch. It's not something that happens by happenstance. Yes, you can be in a vibration that you pick up on things, but ultimately, when you got yourself into that frequency, you had a thought, or you observed something, or a memory, and then there's an interpretation, and then from there you have an assessment and then a feeling. So I was letting them know that it's not their job, like it's not their responsibility for other people's feelings, and vice versa. No one else is responsible for their feelings. And I had these 2 girls come up to me after the presentation, and they said, well, we understand that when it comes to work, but what about personal? And I said, give me an example. And they said, well, what if, one of us came up and said, you're really ugly and stupid and we hate you and you do everything wrong. But in that case, that's very hurtful. And I said, okay, we'll take a step back and ask, what might that person who's saying all those not nice things must be feeling in order for them to say that to you? And because of the training we had done, they quickly went into anger, fear, sadness, and I added jealousy. So when someone is coming at you and looking like they're attacking you, I promise you, it's never about you. Even if it's directed at you, they are listing all the things you did or said or are, it's still not about you. We are all so wrapped up in our own stuff. Sometimes, and this girl said this, she was so perfect because I've experienced this with my family. She said, oh, so basically I'd be their punching bag. I said, yes, perfect word. When someone is looking at your life and jealous, and because they're angry, maybe their belief is that nothing good happens to them, that it's unfair, life is unfair, and that because you look a certain way or you do a certain thing or you're from a certain part of town or have a certain family that you always get something. Okay, that right there is just not going to help anybody ever. And so let's say that's the person and that's what they believe. And then they see all these things that they want that they don't have. And now they're really mad and sad and angry. And they are going to take it out on you because they're jealous and you're the punching bag. So answering this question for my client and for the participants from the next big step is also to remind all of you that no one is responsible for your feelings but you. And that you are also not responsible for anyone else's feelings. Now, that doesn't mean that you lack compassion. That doesn't mean that you're a jerk to them or tell them that. The work of the nonviolent communication that I've been doing in these events and through these courses is to give you tools to hear underneath what's really going on for someone. So that when you hear someone really mad and upset at you, you're diving deeper and deeper into what are they feeling and what need is not being met that is causing them to have this feeling. And when you can get there, then that's when you make real change and shift both in their life and in yours. Because many times what people are really arguing about is really very different. You have two different sides with two different needs, but yet we're assuming that the other person understands and knows how we're feeling. So just a word of wisdom, words of advice, and a plea to all of you. Go back and listen to episode 118 on the Fit to Love podcast show. I'll do it again here, and I'll make it better. It's also for any of you that have purchased the virtual ticket for anything. Now, those of you that are waiting for the next big step, I'm getting there. Give me another week, another couple days. You're going to get some videos. Next time for January's event, if you're interested in doing the virtual ticket, just know that it's 4 days of filming. And there's a lot of back-end production work that has to happen. Then it gets to me, and then I have to cut it and put it into sections and put it in a program for you. So this is what I'm saying. I'm a little busy, and it's not because I'm not working every day to try to deliver all the things that I've said I want you to have. It's just the nature of the beast. So virtual tickets will always take about 2 weeks after the event to get to you. Okay, so I hope today was useful. I invite you to come over to Women, Men, and Relationships and check out the show I did with Doug today because it's really good. He tells his personal story of having an anxiety attack and what that was like and what happened, and I think it's really useful. And because I want to stay true to what I said I'd do here on the show, I'm not repurposing it. It's staying only on Women, Men, and Relationships. So if you want to hear about having an anxiety attack and what happens next and what do you do about it and how do we get over it and what causes it and how to avoid it, I'd love you to come check out the show, Women, Men, and Relationships. All right, guys, thank you so much. I look forward to connecting with you again next week.